If I take an apple or a piece of bread, or maybe a melon, because they're in season, it's always good to eat fruit and vegetables and things that are in season, right? Especially locally. You know, there's a time where many people understood, not just traditionally, could label it a tradition, but they understood it intuitively, naturally, that they didn't eat food that wasn't grown locally, even within a few miles from their home, the place they reside, their residence, because they had that connection with the land around them. But you take this physical substance, you perceive its essence, you treat it like it is us, as it is us, it's a part of us. We eat this substance and it becomes human being. There's that intelligence within us. Alex, as a personality, is not ingesting this and digesting this. There's something within us that is digesting, assimilating, and then eliminating what we don't use. Because it's really not what we consume or ingest that sustains us. It's what we digest from what we ingest. And whatever we don't digest and assimilate, that becomes part of us, part of our body, we eliminate. And a lot of people are overeating. That's just being honest. A lot of elimination going on. The elimination process. We want our colon to be clean. And we want to understand that food is the body, and body is food. And yes, that elements that nature has provided us, Mother Earth has grown for us, and this intelligence has grown all that which we call physical in this three-dimensional reality, and allows us to nourish ourselves with that physically. But fundamentally, there's something beyond the physical substance, which is sustaining us and which has created us, is creating us constantly, continuously, perpetually, indefinitely, for all eternity. And physicality and food and the body is temporary. And we want to understand this consciously. We want to understand that hunger is chemically fired, and we want to engage in practices like fasting, not because we want to deny ourselves of something, but because we want what we want consciously. We don't want to be controlled by something chemically. We don't want to be controlled by our chemistry. You see, we as human entities can understand that we simultaneously live in this three-dimensional reality. And beyond it. And we can do that when we realize that. When we're not run by our chemistry, run by our hormones, which are chemically fired. But life in its purest essence is beyond physicality, is beyond all physical substance, is beyond chemistry. You can't pinpoint it in the bloodstream. Of course, that's an aspect of life, a manifestation of life. But spirit, you can't dissect and analyze it. And if we try to control reality and dissect it and essentially control it, by doing that, we separate ourselves from the presence, from that profound, visceral, deep sense of connectedness. Because we refract it. We refract the spirit which wants to express and manifest through us. Because we're trying to control it. And you see, when you live in a surrendered state of being, you've let go of all preconceived notions of how God's plan is going to go for you, how life's plan is going to go for you. And believe me, I've personally completely let go of all preconceived notions of how God's plan is going to go a long time ago. To go back to what I was saying at the beginning of the video, me as a personality, as a physical entity, as Alex, is not determining how this intelligence is turning this physical substance into human being, this food into body. The intellect's not doing that, however much I want to, however much I want to be the personal enjoyer of that which Mother Nature has provided us, has grown for us. And when we understand this, how many physical entities, how many living beings have given their life, or giving their life to sustain ours, we'll eat with enormous gratitude. And that'll change the vibration of the food. And that's enormously beneficial in restaurants. Say you're traveling and there's not a farmer's market available. You kind of have to eat on the go and in the flow. And wherever you happen to be that day. And there's only one restaurant in town. And you're famished. You're hungry. And to serve the rest of humanity, part of that is sustaining the physicality, the physical body. So crap, I gotta eat. And this is the only restaurant in town. And it may not be, what I prefer. But I'm surrendered, so I've let go of, any resistance. And there's absolute contentment in all circumstance. And I value equal pleasure in all situations, in all circumstances. And being surrendered, I can go anywhere and really eat anything. Hypothetically, there's some things I've personally made a vow not to eat. But generally speaking, a surrendered person can go anywhere and eat anything, and they're not afraid of germs and dusts and electromagnetic frequencies, and because they're fearless, because they transcended the fear of death, of identification with the physical body. And that's really the root of all fear. And so they go into this restaurant, and they pick whatever suits what is closest to suiting their constitution as far as diet. And maybe the waiter is not the highest vibratory entity, and thus taking this food and blessing it with enormous gratitude before you ingest it changes the physical vibration of the food. So this is enormously beneficial to offer the food unto the higher power, which brought it into existence, which is allowing us to exist at every moment. Continuous process of life. And thus, that food will behave differently within you. It's not just hocus pocus. This is real. Everything is vibration, and vibration is the language of God. And as a physical, vibratory entity, you are a manifestation of God. It says in the Bible, ye are gods. It's not my words. Better works you will do than I have done, said Jesus, because I will have gone on to the Father. Worry not about what ye shall eat, what ye shall drink. Look to the birds in the sky. They don't wonder why. They don't wonder about their next meal. They have complete faith without claiming to have faith, without a personality intellectually saying, oh, I have faith and I'm this religious identity because I identify with this memory. No, they're just going with the flow of nature. There's that intrinsic inborn faith that nature, this world's going to provide for them because they have that abundance mindset without identifying with the mind and thinking that they are a mind. So they're not overanalyzing and trying to control reality. They're not creating a separate identity, an internal analyzer in here as limited to this body as a boundary. And when we do that, if we do that, we don't have to, we create an internal analyzer, controller, dissector, an external analysis in that which we're trying to control. We create an internal planner and thus identify with the future. Takes us out of the presence, the present moment, this gift. That's why it's called the present. It's a gift. It's a gift that we're here living and breathing. And that true sense of freedom is not necessarily being in a trance all the time. It's not being in meditation 24/7. It's a sense of freedom when we're talking and breathing and doing our daily activity, whatever that may be, as long as we're perpetually and continuously conscious of divinity within us, the presence which animates our intelligence. We can be fixed on this, on that. There's no fundamental difference between this and that. There's no duality, because we realize through a profound sense of subjectivity, through being in tune intuitively, through a profound sense of connectivity with all that's around us, because there's no sense of separateness, no difference between this and that. This, Alex, is not separate from that you. The same source of life in me is the source of life in you, indefinitely. Whether I'm in this body or after this body. That's the only proof of reincarnation we need, right? Bodies go and bodies arise, and there the process of life flows. This is not a guise. Consciousness, that which is within us, continues long after physicality, long after the body. And thus, we want that to be our identity. We want to identify with energy. There's two things in the world, in the universe, there are fundamentally. That's energy and consciousness. Quite simply. This energy is vibrating at a certain frequency. And we can understand this consciously. So I want to make this video because purity is key, as I mentioned numerous times previously.